All right, all right. Mm. Heineken, because we're in the Netherlands, and I'm cheating on my gluten-free thing. Uh, that's just how it goes. What's up, people? We had a really fun gig tonight, just outside of Amsterdam. Mm, great standing gig. We've been doing like um, more standing gigs lately, which means like no seats. I mean, there was seats up like in an upper deck, but most the floor is all open, general admission, and it was so fun. It's really working actually. When we do these standing gigs, we do a 2-hour set. Normally, this band that I play with, if you don't have any idea what it is, classic rock show, we do um, two sets, and it's like a 3-hour show almost. It's quite long. It's 2:45 to 3 hours with a 20 or 25 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes. It's usually 20 to 25 break in between. And the first set would be about an hour. The second set would be about 2:15, or excuse me, 1:15. So for a total of, it always comes out to 2:45 or something. But anyways, we've been experimenting with these kind of standing shows, which bring in sort of a younger crowd. It's interesting, and like a pretty, it's like if people are standing right from the beginning, so it's like a more rock kind of vibe, and you just switch the setup a little bit and do a different thing. It's actually really working. It's super fun, and it's interesting playing all the places we're playing, because we've played so many places in the last week or so that we've never been before, like Germany. We've never done a gig in Germany with this band. Denmark. We did do a couple in the Netherlands last year, but we're playing all different places this year, so it's interesting. Um, it's really going good. So, yeah. What else? What else? What else? Ian says, "Good to see you. Good to see you too, man. Thanks for being here. I know slightly odd time, but it's nice to be here. Have you yourself or witnessed anyone else doing the Harlem Shuffle?" Harlem Shuffle. That's a bad joke. That's a bad joke. But yeah, much appreciated though. I appreciate that sort of thing. Let's see. Braxall's there. "I do not want you mad at me. I'm having trouble with your guitar. The first guitar, the D-Tuner, would go flat on the E no matter what the shop did. Now the guitar has fret buzz on G6. What do you mean the D-Tuner would go flat on the E? I could probably help you with D-Tuna setup. If it's a very, very, very finicky thing, that it is possible to get it just so. The fret thing, that's a fret thing that, any guitar could have a little thing going on. But the D-Tuna, so to explain your problem a little bit more to me, and then maybe I can help you. So do you mean when you do the D to E thing with the D-Tuner? Because it's a very specific thing with the D-Tuner, which is the Eddie Van Halen, like go from E to D easily with that little part. First of all, I don't know, you might already know this, so sorry if I'm telling you stuff you already know, but I didn't know it for years, that you're not actually supposed to use the fine tuner at all on the low E string. So in other words, you need to tune the guitar with the part out, so the D tuner pulled, and you need to tune the string to D, and it needs to be perfectly in tune to D, and then you slide the D tuner in. No fine tune. The fine tuner on the low E has to be screwed all the way out if you're going to use that thing. Okay, and then you slide it in, and then it should technically go to E. If it doesn't, there's a little set screw on the D tuner, and you adjust it. If anything, it'll be flat. So you're saying it goes flat on the E no matter what the shop did. And go easy on the actually on the Sir guys, because they didn't actually, they haven't installed a lot of these, because it was a pretty much the almost exclusive, I think, EVH thing for a long time. So you put the part in, and then it should go to E, and if it doesn't, you tune up the little fine tuner to a very fine line, and you do it on the tuner. And I find it helps to kind of pull it out and then put it in, and then give it a little flick, like a little flick the part a little bit, and it helps it settle like right into place. And I got it to the point where in my clinics, where because of the clinics I've done recently, that I did some over in Japan, I did some in the US and stuff, I wrote a piece of music, or a few pieces of music actually, where I was going to E to D, E to D, in and out, in and out. So it had to work like really good, or at least good enough for live performance to be acceptable. Um, and I sometimes had to tweak it. It's a finicky part, and you got to kind of like it just requires a little bit of every day looking at it and make sure that set screw is just right if you have to use it. But if you put in the time, it will work. So not sure if that's your issue or not, but if if you can tell me kind of what you're thinking. So are you using 10? I put 9.5 on fret. They might have shipped it with 10s. I think Sir ships guitars with 10s a lot. First guitar we sent the fine tuner on the low E. It is almost the D-Tuner set screw goes loose. I had an issue with one on a different guitar, and that's just a part. I mean, I had to get another D-Tuner from FU-Tone for a guitar where the set screw just wouldn't quite work. So that's a D-Tuner thing, not really it's not we can't control, like if there's a, not to say that they're inconsistent either. On all my other guitars they work, but I did have one where the little set screw was screwy, and they just sent me another one. It kept coming out, actually. Yeah, I did have that. So anyways, Tom says a little graphite helps the D-Tuna situation as well. I could see that, where a little graphite would help it just slide in and out, be right in the place that it's supposed to be. I find when I pull it in and out, when I pull it out, I'll then flick the tuner, like just flick it, and it kind of makes sure that it's out of the way. And then when I push it in, and then I push down on it. And I'd literally do this in the course of like 2 beats when I was, doing my clinics, and I kind of painted myself into a corner developing some pieces of music where I had to use it, so it had to work right. And I got into a routine where I knew how to push it in and pull it out and make it like kind of, settle so that it was in tune. And yeah, so yeah. And now I got the buzz only on the G string on fret 6. Well, it might have a little, just might be a little high fret issue. So just, I don't know, dude, like check it. Start a customer service ticket with Sir. They're great. See us at sir.com. Write to them and let them know that you spoke to me or whatever. And if you got to get it looked at, you got to get it looked at. And they're generally doing amazing. Generally, when something like that happens and it's, it goes to where if you're like, hey, I'm on my second guitar, John will look at it and he'll check it out and he'll, you know what I mean? If it's some issue, So it's we're also talking about a guitar here where it's low action, whatever, 10 to 14 radius and Floyd's and an ebony fingerboard and stuff. And when you're dealing with all those factors with big frets and stuff, and you want the action nice and low, it's a every little thing has to be just right. So it's like you might just want to get it looked at and stuff, and have them, either way they'll make it right and check it out for you. Yeah. Yeah. So Braxall says, so hard to type all this stuff. Appreciate your help. Yeah, just hit them up, let them know you were on my live stream or whatever, and I start a customer service ticket, and I'll sort you out if you need it done. It could be very simple that if you've got a good local tech and you've just got a slightly high fret and there's like one note that's bothering you or something. But dude, I have, the reality is I have stuff like that on all my guitars. Right, James is here. I mean, do you have like buzzy? He's just packing up over there. Do you have buzzy guitars, like where one fret will just be like, you know what I mean? Like it's like.
I do, and especially when you're on tour.
Yeah,
it goes from hot, cold.
Hot, cold.
Different guitars will do.
Yeah.
Things. They're moody things, guitars. They have a temperament, and sometimes they just don't like you.
Yeah, they're live, and daily it can be.
Fret level. Sometimes is
or even it's just one little high, and then they can just do that one little area, And it's like because the sixth, he's saying he's got a little buzz on the G string at the 6th fret on this one. So, but yeah, they'll fix it up. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Have you tried any of the AmpWorks pedals? I don't think I have tried that. AmpWorks. I don't know that. Sorry, that company. What else we got here? Tom saying, yeah, don't use the tuner. Yeah, I didn't know that for the longest time, that you weren't supposed to use the low E fine tuner on a D tuner. And then I started like wondering why I could never get it to work. And I was like, oh, because I'm doing it wrong. You know, yeah. Ben Coombs, what's up, man? He says, don't forget to hit the like. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, buddy. Do you miss home? I do. Yeah, I do. I miss my cats, man. Every day I see them on video and stuff like that, but yeah, I miss home. Miss the kitties. Miss Brit. Gotta get home and spend a little quality time and stuff. So it's always that way at this point in the tour. Any tour that you do, if you're a couple, like if let's say you got a 2-month run and you're about 10 days away from home, your mind, I don't know if you find that too, James, but your mind starts going home like a little bit, it's not like, you can have great gigs and everything's cool, but your mind starts being a little bit like, my bed.
Starts counting down.
Starts counting down. It's like, you can still be,
we're having. Still enjoy it and want to go home.
Yeah. You can still enjoy it and want to go home. That's right. Yeah.
It's healthy.
It is. Yeah. What if you didn't want to go home? That'd be weird.
Yeah, that's when it becomes very unhealthy.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good thing to want to go home. Yeah. Totally healthy.
Little reset is good.
Yeah. We've had a really brilliant tour though. Man, we're having like I was saying at the beginning, we've been doing these standing shows, and it's a bit of an eye-opener because it sort of opens up a whole world of possibilities, I feel like, of there's younger people that don't mind standing for 2 hours to come to a show, because not that there's anything wrong with it. Part of the beauty of doing this gig is how much fun it is to actually play, because it's an older crowd sometimes, especially in the UK where the band's established. And there's people that have been coming to the show for 10 plus years, some of them. And, they've gotten older as they come to the gigs, and they come every year because they're fans of the Beatles and the Who and Led Zeppelin and those bands, and that's awesome and stuff. But it's interesting to see, if you do a standing gig in a country like Germany, that, rockers come out, that are maybe younger, but love to rock, and don't mind standing and they're louder and they like want to party. Right? There's a little bit of a different crowd, and it's like, oh, that's cool that there's like different people that want to. It's great because there's like it's all good and it's all valid. One of the great things has been, I got it the other night at meet and greet after the show and stuff. When older people come up and say, I haven't felt like that since the 80s, or you made me feel like I was 25 again, and it'll be somebody that's like 70. That's pretty cool. Like, I didn't anticipate how much I would actually enjoy that when I started doing this, is when people say things like that. And you can see people in the crowd too, kind of like their faces and stuff get younger, and it's pretty special, because you're giving people especially in a time the world's kind of crazy right now and stuff like that and all that. And it's in a time where you're giving people a 2-hour or 3-hour
break.
Yeah, break from the world, having fun, like remembering, it's like supposed to be fun, right? It's not all supposed to be drudgery and in your phone and all that shit that we, right? And so, and worrying and all that stuff. It's just supposed to be like, sometimes it's fun to. So it was great the other night it was in Denmark, when a woman came up and she goes, I haven't felt like that since the 80s. I love that. Yeah, that was cool. It was in Copenhagen. Pretty cool. Yeah. All right. What else are we talking here? Looking forward to Dublin. Kathy's coming to Dublin. What's up? We'll see you there. What else we got? Damn good to have you here, says Mr. Ray. What's up, man? Good to see you. Yeah. Do you think the original pickups in your 64 Strat would be close to the new Joe Bonamassa green Burst Madonnas? Probably, yeah, the gray bottom style. They're a little hotter. They're a little, the pickups in my 64 are pretty rocking. Sort of a 6-point something. And definitely like more on the punchy side, mid-rangey. They've still got clarity, but I actually, the neck pickup in particular, I actually have a Mike Landau, which is now the V63, similar. model Sur in there. And that's because the original Strat pickup was kind of such a darker wind. It was like a hot, darker thing that I wasn't quite getting the Stratty thing that I wanted out of it. So I put a Sur pickup in there too. So it's two the two original Fenders, and then the Sur in the neck is actually what I got in there now. It sounds great. So it matches right up too. Like it sounds like it belongs in the guitar, you know. So it's cool. Is the bridge set to dive only? Yeah, if you go into floating mode, the D-Tuner becomes no. Yeah, that's the yeah. I think they set them up to be fixed, you know, the way they come. But you can actually this is my guitar with the Floyd on it. You can take out the set thing if you want to make it float if you want to. Do you think McCready's Strat is going to stay in tune now that he smashed it to bits on his pedal board? Probably not, Ray. That was a while ago, though. Was it recent? Did he do it again? He does that sometimes. Yeah. I should be using 9.5s. I don't know if 10s to have the guitar right. You can use whatever you want, man. I use 9s. I went to 9s about a year ago, and I'm totally happy on 9s. I'm gonna stay with those. So, yeah. Let's see, another question here about the D-Tuner. So if you pull the D-Tuner out and then get the G string second fret buzz, it may be because the string tension is less. Now the relief is too much. Nah, the guitar stays in tune. I mean, the neck doesn't flex. It's a ebony board and a roasted maple neck. It wouldn't change the relief on the neck. Nope. Yeah. Let's see here. Just kind of SLO 30 pairs nice with the SL68, recording SLO and SL68. Yeah, that's cool. Doing stuff like that, like a modern and a high gainer together, is big sounding. They'll fill in the gaps of where the other one doesn't have, and you know, and it's not dissimilar to like Adam from Tool, like where he'll use either a Diesel, I think, or a old dual rectifier and a modded super bass, like 73 or something, and you put those together and it's massive guitar sound. Really cool. Or like actually Super Unknown by Soundgarden was that too. It was a JMP and a dual rectifier, I think, together for a lot of the tracks, and you just get this huge guitar sound. Yeah. Are you playing another gig in? Yeah, we're playing HAARLEM. How do you say it? And Utrecht, right? HAARLEM. Yeah, like Van Halen.
Yeah. It's closer to the top. It is.
Where's my hand?
Oh, yeah, I moved it. It's close to Globo, which is.
Is it?
Yeah, right on the German border.
Right on the German border. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so we got 2 more gigs in the Netherlands, actually. We got 4 more shows. 2 in the Netherlands, Utrecht, HAARLEM, and then we're also doing Dublin and Luxembourg. So if anybody's out there and you want to come see a show, come on out. We're having fun, man. Are we doing any more standing shows? Dublin
and
HAARLEM?
Luxembourg.
Well, Luxembourg's a standing show. Really?
2 more standings.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Well, all right. There you have it. Well, Ampworks is a TC thing. Okay. Mimicking classic amp sounds like Twin Reverb Marshall 5150. I haven't tried those yet. I haven't been too in touch with those folks lately. I used to do more stuff with them, but I should be more in touch with them. So you're reminding me I need to hit up my buddy there, Tobias. If I played the new Sur LP style, you mean the 24? It's sort of not really LP style because they're dual humbucker, but they're still a bolt-on and they're short scale, so kind of in between it's an in-betweener sort of guitar. Played the ones that went to NAMM a little bit. They're really nice. There's a Pete Thorn D-Tuner video in there, Peter. It's a process, but once you have it down, you can make it work on any Floyd. Yeah, it's a process. It's just a little finicky, but it works. You just got to, keep it Keep it good. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Here's a question about CRS in the States. The question is, I don't know about that. Lucas, is there any CRS in the States this year? No comment, but it's not out of the question. But what else we got here? Let's see. Can you tell us about the Genesis LCL68 with Sir, if there was a back and forth? So it was just John. I said I wanted to buy an old Marshall, and he's like, well, I'll just make you one. And I was like, okay. I mean, he's like, yeah, I know how to, he's like, I'll just make you one if you want one. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I know all the Eddie Van Halen stuff because I saw the inside of the amp, and he had notes and things like that from when he'd seen it. He documented it a little bit, the parts and the values and stuff. And he had the idea of, like, I think I can even, like, maybe even he comes up with neat ideas, like the power transformer was something he just asked Tabor if they could do the dual voltage thing, and they were like, yeah, sure, there's no reason why not. We just make one. So that was kind of neat, that he did that. And with the 2-position power switch, the 90-120 thing. Yeah, so it was very organic. And then I got the amp and I took it home, and I loved it. It was great. And I think that day that I took it home, I put a video up of it, like, hey, John made me a Plexi. And much like the PT100, where it was very organic, it was just like people were like, oh, I want one of those. And then it was like, okay, I guess this is a model, So that's how it happened. So mine was the very first that was made. Have you gone to the Black Sabbath gig? Would you have gone to the Black Sabbath gig if you had been in? Oh, you mean I'm going to be in? Yeah, I'm going to be playing that day, so I can't go. But are you going to Black Sabbath? Do you want to go to Black Sabbath? I'm asking James here.
Honestly,
yeah.
Part of me would love to for the
history,
romance of it.
Yeah.
But I wonder if I come away thinking they should have, personally, as a Sabbath fan, should they have left it with the end tour, which was
cool,
amazing.
I saw that tour.
Yeah, and that last gig in Birmingham is amazing.
But Bill wasn't there.
No.
So
I just hope Ozzy's okay.
But he says he's not going to sing the whole show. He says he's going to just sing little parts where he feels comfortable.
Yeah.
And other people are going to sing, which is, I think, kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, and he said, like, man, if I die on stage that night, I'll die a happy man. And I was like, that's the coolest thing ever, like, just a lifetime of rock and roll. And if he just sits on the stage and watches everybody else, and then he sings where he can, I think it's kind of beautiful.
I also wonder if I'm saying this because I also have a gig that day. So I don't know if I'm just going to justify to myself why I want to go.
You're doing a Rumors gig? Yeah, so you're going to be on tour. So, well, it'll probably be filmed.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be on YouTube about that. Looking for videos.
and also maybe pro shot, I would think, because it should be, it should be a thing where it's documented. And incredible that Bill, is going to be there. And incredible they're all still around. They're all still around. Whether or not he can sing, he's dealing with a lot. He's got Parkinson's, is that right? I think he has Parkinson's, right? So he's dealing with a lot. I think it's brilliant. Even if he doesn't sing a note and he sits there and watches other people, whatever he can do. I went to see the last Phil Collins tour, called the Not Dead Yet tour. It was a number of years ago. It was like 2019 or whatever, and he's still not dead. So
I hope they just put him in a throne right in the center of the stage.
He sits.
He's the commander-in-chief.
He sat for the whole gig. It was great. He was great. He sang great, actually. And it was cool. I mean, they had to change keys and stuff on some stuff, but it was actually very, very good, And I thought, oh, is this gonna be sad? And it wasn't. It was like wonderful. And his son has gotten to be, just totally changing the subject, sorry, but Phil's son has gotten to be a great drummer. Like, when he started with him when he was like 16. Now he's probably like 22 or 3 or something now, 20, something like that. And he's brilliant now. He's like a really good drummer.
There's a great YouTube video, isn't there? I can't remember the company that did it. It's like a film documentary of Phil and his son.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I'd like to see that. Is it on Drumeo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like something Drumeo would do, actually, for sure. I'd like to see it. I think his son might have even lived in Vancouver. I think Phil lived in Vancouver or something. Maybe his son lives in Vancouver. I don't know. which that's where Drumeo is. But yeah, I could be making that up. I don't know. When does the hard work begin for Such Fi? Oh, it's already begun. I'm in the dressing room every day with my little black star fly and like learning songs. So yeah, working my butt off. It's great. It's really good for my playing, actually. It's been good because I've been practicing more. And then when I get out on the gigs at night when we're playing, I'm like, my hands feel good. Yeah, I'm super warmed up. And it's like, it actually feels really good, like on that level. So we got 226 people online. It's great to have you all here. Great to have you all here. I don't know why I said it like that. What else we got here? Ever had the chance to play old JTM era Marshalls or Super Bass from any era? Yeah, lots. Because I'll tell you, being kind of buddies with Friedman and stuff and being in his shop often, he'll be working on things. I've played so many amps through being around there and spending time in there. Really good examples of pretty much every era Marshall. And I get even some, a lot of folks. I mean, I got to play Ed's Marshall, being in there twice, 2 different occasions before he'd worked on it and after he'd rebuilt it on 10. It was awesome. But also, like, other folks will bring in amps and he'll want me to, he'll go, can you play through this? And, just so he can, how it's different when you're playing and when somebody else is playing, you can just listen. So he'll be like, play through this. And I'll play through it and he'll listen and then he'll like go, okay, hold on a minute. And then he'll like change out a cap or something and then change out a value and then I'll play through it again. He'll be either, oh, it's better this way or that way, So lots of JTM 45s. And I mean, I've even kind of learned like through that process exactly what the amps do and exactly which ones I like for what. And like overall what spec I like. Like if I could only have one, it would be kind of the classic 68 lead spec for me. But I get what the JTM 45s do, which is really, really, essentially a super bass similar circuit, which is what you use. James has a great super bass. It's a 71 or 2?
It's a 72. Just the 1986.
1986 50 watter. Yeah. And it sounds really good because, I mean, for what he's using it for, so he'll hit it with gain to get more for rock stuff. But for the rhythm stuff, think Malcolm meets like maybe a little hotter. He runs it, you run it pretty high. It's like you're running input 1, the treble input with the gain on about 8, right? Mm-hmm. Volume on about 8. Yeah. And it sounds like really good, like really rocking. And
it's a mid-punch, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it just does that thing. It just has the Marshall thing and the cabinet doesn't hurt either. This is an old 68 cab. That's really cool. So yeah, I mean, I hear that amp every night on stage. Yeah. Okay, what else we got here? Let's see. What time is it? We're about 38 minutes in. 28 minutes in? 28 minutes. I'm going to probably stay for about 45 today, guys. It won't be like a super long one just because we got to pack up and get out of here. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, here's somebody that was at the show at Cadogan Hall. One of them, very enjoyable, and you were great. The other main guitarist, that's James, was fabulous as well. You're getting compliments here, man. He's right here. He's wearing his Liverpool.
I look very unrock with my Liverpool top.
Oh, he was in football mode today.
Football, go sports.
Yeah, go sports. Sports. We're sports. We love sports.
Big TV. What a good day.
Yeah, he was able to watch the game here in the dressing room. My wife was very taken with his solo on Comfortably Numb. So what's interesting about that is, we'll do a little reveal here. The James plays the Marshall all night, but on Comfortably Numb, he's actually using Axe Effects just on that one song because the sound was so developed and kind of for something else that it's just really dialed and so he uses for that one song.
It's also such a unique Pink Floyd, so kind of very different to anything else we do in the show.
Right.
That I even tried to develop, like I do with everything else.
Yeah.
Use both.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get it to sound not as good as the wrong word. Well, yeah, it is as good as that as just the Axe effects.
Yeah,
and it's a great piece of kit. The Axe effects.
yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it's interesting because it is a really good. It's sort of a testament to the Axe effects that, you know, we can play amps all night, but on that one sound for that one song, it does work really, really, really well. And it's just, if you spend enough time with an Axe effects or something and you get it just right, it's like, oh yeah, it is right there, and it's very consistent every night.
If you've got a sound that's quite processed with lots of reverb delays,
which it is, right?
Yeah, then kind of hides the amp a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
It was high, what was it clear? You know, lots of layers.
Yeah.
Where you do, obviously it feels different.
Yeah.
But you know, I will say it is the one solo sound that is consistent every night now.
Yeah, it's so consistent.
Yeah, it's in my ears as well. Like from a tone perspective, it's incredibly consistent.
So, what do you tell us? What I've never even we've never had this conversation. So, what amp model are you using on it? Like, do you know in the patch? Like, what do you?
Oh, I've tried to basically copy as much as you know through the years of looking at different live versions of Gilmore's sound and looking at all the different. There's some great websites out there for Pink Floyd sound.
Right.
Come up to you. And it's kind of a preset that started in 2020, and I've just slowly developed. Every time there's been an update on the Axe effects,
okay,
it's kind of the sounds always sound a little bit better. And as I looked at what we did in 2020, and I took a few things off, but the bass sound is the high watt.
So it's the high watt with, but it's probably like pretty clean, and then you're doing Big Muff.
Big Muff, yeah.
Big Muff, and then what do you use for the delay and the other stuff and the chord? It's like a whole bunch of stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff. It was a long time since I actually
have looked at it.
I properly looked at it.
Yeah, that's the thing, because once you set it up, you probably like, well, you just go to the preset. And
absolutely,
works,
yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
You just tweak it, but yeah.
What cabinet? Do you remember?
No.
Is it Fane?
Do you know what? I do. No, I do know, and it's complete. Origin Effects last year released a free download of some IRs.
Right.
And I've used what did I use for that?
Is it like Fanes or?
I think it is, yeah. But it's definitely one of their. It's definitely one of their presets, ones. Yeah. And they, I remember when I did. I
think they did Fanes.
Changing the subject, but when we did this morning breakfast show.
For
Halloween.
TV show.
Yeah. It's like Good Morning America.
In England.
Yeah, in England. We did a Halloween special with the Classic Rock Show, and we did we took Axe Effect. We basically did FM3 and FM9 on the floor, silent stage.
Right.
And I'd had some presets, and I just changed the cabinet, and I was like, my God, this makes such a difference.
Oh, really?
Oh,
with the Origin ones.
Yeah.
I tried them. I think they were good. They sent me, but the only ones I tried were like Tweed Deluxe, like for. Because they came out with their Tweed Deluxe pedal, and so in the video I made for YouTube for Origin, I used their IR. I remember, but it was good. It sounded good, so I should try some of their other
the 4x12 cabinets are really, really good.
I should try them. Is that Simon from
Simon Keats? Yeah,
Simon Keats.
Yeah,
right?
he's amazing.
Yeah,
a very clever dude.
Yeah. Yep. What else we got here? I'm pretty far back in the chat, so I'm going to move down. There's a couple super chats. I'll grab those. Sorry, I'm missing some questions. When's the PT90 pickup available for purchase? That's a great question that I should ask them. I need to get clarity on that. I'm not sure 100%. I'll find that out. Sorry, and thanks for the super chat. What's the what do I think of the controversy over the new Fender Standard Series? Most people don't seem happy about the made in Indonesia. I mean, if they're not made in America, what sort of difference does it make where they're made if they're made well? I guess. Like, I endorse a guitar that's made in America. That's proudly, the guy wants to make guitars in California. That's John. That's just how he is. He doesn't want them. The reason there's no Sirs made anywhere else is because he's like, the part I like about this is having them made here. Like, I like going out on the floor and seeing the guitars made and like being hands-on. So if there's like a whole bunch of guitars being made, even if I make more money or whatever, and they're made overseas, even if they're good, and I don't get to have any part of that.
You can't quality control if you're not there, can you?
Yeah. Well, even if the quality's good, he's like, I don't like he's like, then my heart's not in it because they're made. It's not me. They're not in my shop, and I like to be in it. So right. So like, at some obviously, there's a lot of companies that make guitars overseas, and it's for, when they get bigger, and that's just what happens, right? And I guess my point is, if they're made in, I don't know, like, I don't like if they're making great guitars in Indonesia. What difference does it make if it's made in Japan or Indonesia or Mexico or China, or like, if it's not, if you know what I'm getting at, like if it's the same quality of guitar, but just not made in America, but it's made in like one, like you're gonna be like, well, I'm okay with Mexican fenders, or I'm okay with Japanese made fenders, or I'm okay with, it doesn't make sense to me.
I guess it depends. I don't know what the controversy is. Are they, if it's, are they trying to do it as an affordable guitar?
Yeah, and therefore, more affordable.
But if it's more affordable and that allows more people to
buy them,
yeah, then that's a good thing. If they're made somewhere else and they're the same price, then that's not.
Some people say it's basically a Squire, or something like, but it's but it's just says Fender on it. But, and I get that, I guess, but it's like, it's still like, they've been making guitars overseas for years,
But it is quite. I remember when I was late starting playing guitar. I was 16 when I started properly. But I remember my first Fender was a Mexican.
Yeah.
And it was almost like, I want to get an American one.
Right.
Why? Because they're better. Okay, but it's just the thing in your head, almost like, I need to get an American one next.
I need to get an American one next. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get both sides of it.
There's nothing. Yeah. Especially when I started, it was a great guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that they've come so far. I mean, like, my first guitar was a Hondo made in Korea. It was, I sanded it down because I wanted to paint it, and I quickly realized it was plywood because I got to the contour, and like I saw all the stripes, and then like, it's plywood. Yeah. So, but yeah, so they've come a long way since then. I guess just my point is, like, I've been to Indonesia. There's like, it's kind of interesting actually. On at least on Instagram, I think my second biggest after the U.S. followers are in Indonesia. Yeah, and anytime I meet people at NAMM and stuff from Indonesia, and I've been to Indonesia, I did a clinic and stuff, but there's guitar crazy culture there. And I'll meet people from Indonesia at like NAMM and stuff. They'll go like, dude, you got to come to Indonesia. Like, you're really popular in Indonesia. And I'll be like, really? And they're like, yeah, man. Like everybody knows you in Indonesia. And I'm like, they like guitar in Indonesia. So it's like, I don't know.
If they make a good guitar, we don't know yet.
And if they're crazy about guitar, it's like, what's the difference? I don't know. So I guess I don't get it. I wouldn't worry about it. Like, if it's a quality guitar that plays well, sounds good, stays in tune, no flaws, then it doesn't matter kind of where it comes from to a degree. But so having said that, because it's like a fine line with Sir, I get that, like, hey, I want to make guitars in California with people that we know here. It's like a family, and it's like, super. There's a thing to the,
it depends on your business.
They don't do it anywhere else.
No, but it depends on it depends on your business model. Sir have always had that, where Fender have branched out to have their instruments built in other countries. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Wayne just showed up, and he's doing.
He's waving.
Unacceptable things over at the door that are. Yeah. Get out of here.
You're ill.
Yeah, you're ill. We don't even want you in here. That was me. We just kicked our bass player out. What else we got here? Let's see. Recently wanted a shred guitar. I saw Ibanez Genesis in Desert Yellow. What do I think of that? I don't know that particular model. Sorry. I don't. Sorry. I'm going to put this like this because I can't. I want to sit without my neck. But if you want to hang, and I like having you on the show.
I'm just going to chill here, so I'm here if you need me. I'm just enjoying relaxing.
I know, it's pretty good actually. We got to drive tonight to where are we going? HAARLEM. We're going from Haarlem to HAARLEM. It's actually true. Yeah, we're going down south. Going down to Haarlem. I have a really good time. Dude, Luxembourg, isn't Luxembourg like the size of Rhode Island? Yeah, it's tiny. It's super small. It's basically like, it's like Singapore or something, right? Where it's basically, it's a city.
Yeah, Luxembourg is a country and a city. And
yeah, like Singapore.
Great.
Yeah. Have you ever been? You know, Singapore is like it's like on the end of Malaysia, and it's like basically a city,
Yeah.
but it's a country. It's interesting. It's interesting. The world is interesting. I've missed a super chat that I still have to find here. Let's see. Joe says, forgot about the live at 2. Was working on some music, playing loud with my Trio Plus looper pedal and writing some lyrics. I need to take a lunch break. Well, good to have you here. And we got 232 people online. So I'm stoked. Dustin says, hope you're doing well. Congrats on the Sets Vi gig. Thanks. Yeah, I'm super stoked. Very excited. Get out and play some shows and have a good time. It's going to be a good summer. If you all need a restaurant recommendation for Dublin, says Dan, try FX Buckley Steakhouse on Crow Street. Great steaks, good prices, lovely atmosphere. Okay.
So FX.
Yeah, FX Buckley Steakhouse. We'll keep that in mind.
Got it.
Somebody says they just tried to buy tickets for the show in Utrecht, but it's sold out. Is that right? We're sold out.
Doing pretty good.
Fantastic. We're big in Holland, in the Netherlands. Yeah. Okay. Foot in the Grave Tour would be a great title. It actually is really good. One Foot in the Grave Tour. That's so metal. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Still remember trying to get Led Zeppelin tickets in the 70s. We stood in line at the Sears store 4 hours and had no luck. Oh man, you had to be in line early. You had to be like one of the first. That's what I used to do. I used to sleep there like overnight on the sidewalk. This was the 80s. My parents, when I was like 12 years old, would let me go sleep overnight on the sidewalk in front of the mall. Can you imagine that? You know, it was like a sleeping bag, like on the sidewalk. I'd like literally stay there. Like I'd go there at like great. 2 in the morning.
Was there other like-minded people there?
Yeah, but they could be freaks. You know what I mean? That like, you know.
Well, anyone who's going to queue at 2 o'clock in the morning has got, you have to be a little bit special.
It's just Generation X, man. We used to drink out of the garden hose, and and we ate mud. We drank out of the garden hose. We played out late at night. Whatever. We're hard. We're on nails.
But I almost feel that's a fair away for tickets. Now I feel almost that's a fair away.
Oh yeah,
tickets.
Like was fair.
Now it's just lottery.
No, dude, we'd literally line up all night, and then you'd get like, I got 7th row floor for Van Halen, and it cost $14.50. It was killer.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was great. Every show that I saw growing. I mean, I saw everybody. Def Leppard, Iron Maiden, Journey on the Escape Tour, Van Halen, 1984. I saw it all. Like tickets were all under $20. Almost under 50. Yeah, it was a different time. It was great. Will you come to Paris? I think we're playing Paris with Sach Vi. We are in the summer. Classic Rock Show, we've never played there, but we should. I think we'd do great. We could do Zenith or something. It'd be awesome.
We're working our way slowly.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a lot more. How many dates in Europe this year? Was it like
11?
That's pretty good. Last year was
3. Now we go to 11 next year.
3. Yeah. It should be 20 easily, right? Like, yeah. Because this is fun, man. We're having a great time playing. UK is always fun. Bands established there, but it's been super fun to play other spots and really nice. Every place is a new place pretty much coming up here, and it's all like, I mean, there's a few familiar faces in the crowd because people actually travel from England to come see the show, but it's been really brilliant. Andy Rex Cam says, coffee for yourself and one for James too. So Andy give us a 10-pound super chat. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it. He has a 2000 classic GC8. Hopefully you know what that is. What is that? He thinks you know what a 2000 classic GC8. What do you think? He looks puzzled.
I don't know what that would be.
Is that a guitar or?
Well.
Oh, is that like a car?
Yeah.
Is that a car? GC8.
Yeah. If you're talking about cars, then yeah, that's a Subaru.
A Subaru?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was thinking, instantly thinking like, is that a guitar pedal?
He's not just a guitar guy. He's a race car driver.
Oh, I was retired racing driver.
But he's a race car driver. F2, right?
I did.
Formula 2.
Yeah. And this morning when we were at the beach,
yeah,
we were at Zandvoort, which you won't know what that means.
Yeah,
but that's
racetrack.
It's a racetrack. It's a racetrack on the Formula 1 calendar.
Okay.
It's actually weirdly one of the few racetracks in Europe, one of the main ones that I'd never raced at. So the reason we were at the beach was last night we were talking to Ashley, our tour manager. It was like, we can't park at the venue.
Right.
Where do we park? So I went, let's go to the beach. I want to walk the track. So at 9 o'clock this morning,
oh, that's what you were doing. There. That's why we were at the
That's
beach.
That's why 11:30 we were told we had to. If you're not on the bus, we're going without you because we were still walking the track.
You were walking the track. Mm-hmm. Got it. What's the fastest you ever drove?
In Formula 2 around Monza, you were hitting 200 miles an hour.
You drove 200.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're so crazy. Crazy. We think we live on the edge with our marshals and stuff, but no. Going 200 miles an hour. Okay. I'm way back in the chat, so I'm going to move down, and then I got to split here pretty quick because we're 46 minutes in. Can I get Leslie vibes with the chorus in Phase 90? Yeah, kind of. I mean, like, yeah, I would say try. I mean, it's a great sound no matter what. Try like a fast chorus and a slow Phase 90 with a fast chorus, low depth, but fast speed, and then try the Phase 90 set real slow. It's great sound. Like whether or not it's exactly a Leslie, it's just cool. Yeah. You know what's a great sound too is a rotary and a Phase 90. So if you do like I used to get a really, really cool sound using the rotary effect on my old Rocktron Replifex, and it had a great Leslie sim in it. And I'd turn that on and then turn on Phase 90 too at the same time, and that was like the coolest sound. The fast and slow sweep at the same time were really cool. Yeah. How about a rig video from the tour would be tip top to see both you guys' stuff. Yeah, we've been super lazy about that.
We have got time. We could.
Yeah, let's think about that. Think about that because we got a few shows left where we can knock that out for sure. It'd be cool to do. It used to be like those videos always get like tons of views.
Also, now we've all got
different stuff.
I'm like Tom went in the crowd today with my phone.
Oh,
the videos are great.
Yeah, on a 16 or 16. We've all got good phones, and Jess has her DJI out here, which is amazing too. Steadicam stuff. So we should be doing that. I've just been a little lazy about it lately, to be honest. But yeah. Okay. Okay. Moving down through the chat here, just a few more, and then I get a split. Do a co-headliner with Mateus in Indonesia. It would be huge. He's really popular there. He's really popular everywhere, though, isn't he? When are you coming to play in Canada? I don't know. We'll see about that. I'm not sure yet exactly, but maybe. What's the best way to mic a cabinet when you only have one studio bedroom and no separate amp room? I used to do it with a 112 in a closet. So I put it in the closet and bury it in blankets and just put the 57 or whatever mic in front. You might find it easier to use something like a 609 or a 906 or whatever, like those EV mics that you can sort of lay on the grill, because then you could really get the blankets around it. But you just throw it in the closet and maybe use an attenuator or some of the power station or something like that to keep the volume down. I recorded most of Guitar Nerd. It was funny. I lived in this place. You remember the How to Play Eruption videos I did and all that in like 2008. That guitar sound is actually like a Bogner 112 buried in a piece of furniture. It was like a big like armoire sort of thing. I don't know what you call it, but had like doors on the bottom where you'd put plates in and things, that kind of thing. Okay. Like cabinet. It was like a cabinet, that had and like a piece of furniture, and it was big enough and deep enough where I could like put a cabinet inside one of those things that would open up at the bottom. The doors would open up. You could put, store things in there. And so I had the 112 in there, and I lined it all with kind of like packing blanket and stuff, and then I stuffed another one in front and put the cabinet in there with a mic, and I just closed the door. And that's how I recorded a lot of Guitar Nerd. Was actually done that way. My first record, at least like probably half the guitars.
3-minute call.
Okay, we got to go. So there's a super chat, and I'm going to grab it. And let's see. In your Satch Vibe promo, it sounds like Kenny says, I love Pete's tones. He doesn't say that. He said, I love Pete's tones. So, yeah, it's true. Pete's tones. I think somebody was asking him, like, what do you think of Pete? What do you think of his playing and his tones? And I think they just grabbed the part where he went, I love Pete's tones. What are your James current favorite songs? You and James' favorite current songs in the set? That's a great question. This is a super chat question, meaning you're having the most fun playing. The most fun playing. I'm loving playing Jeff Beck every night. It's so fun. So we do because we ended as lovers, and it's a really nice moment in the set for me. And then I'm also having a blast playing Quo.
Really?
Yeah, we did a Status Quo song.
Quo's always fun.
Whatever you want. And
Quo's always fun. Still Got the Blues is the weird one where it's when you bottle off, it's great.
Still Got the Blues.
But it's weird that some nights I'll finish the song and I'll pan my guitar at Dave and I go, fuck's sake. Like, and then I listen to it back and I'm like, oh, it was all right. Yeah. So the problem is with that song is this: you build it up in your head to have to play it perfectly, So you almost get a little bit anxiety with it. But sometimes that's actually not a bad thing because it means you give a shit.
Well, it knocks you into paying attention.
Yeah. But you get almost like you focus on the negative rather than the positive bits. And I always go, and I listen. Sometimes I listen to it back and I go, actually, pretty good. So basically, I just need to chill out.
Yeah. I would say overall, we like playing the whole back half of the last quarter of the show is super fun. Or third.
The only thing on this tour is I love playing a Telecaster, and I'm not really doing it as much. I obviously play on the Pretenders and on Bruce and on Quo, but like I really enjoy playing Tele, and I haven't, whatever the set was this year, I'm not using it that much.
Using it as much as you would like. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, we've got some nice Sir, props to Sir, because we got a couple of basically classic tees that are the model that's a lacquer, light aged. So I've got a pewter sort of colored one that I love, and you've got a candy apple red. Liverpool red. There you have it. There you have it. I like that. Well, all right. Let's see. Somebody else saying, I know you're using Music Home Lab Effects 100 or 10D switcher. Is that the one I use? I think I use the other one, the 10D. Is that what I have? It's the Mark 6 is the one I use. I have a 10D, the smaller one, on my other board that's in the studio. That's the one I think is called the 10D. Smaller switcher. Great. Awesome. The one that I have on my board out here, my main sort of pedal board, is the bigger, the Mark 6, or I think that's what it's called, and it's brilliant. And I love the thing. And I have I've had great experience with Music Home Lab switchers with no issues over the years. So I highly recommend them. Yeah, I think about it sometimes, how many times I kick that thing over the years, like, because I've probably had it on my board now for 4 years or something, and constantly like banking and hitting the first sound.
I hate to say this, but like my Axe effects, because obviously I control my Marshall through the FC12 pedal board.
Yeah.
And I've had the same pedal board since the Axe effects came out.
Yeah.
And touch wood, it's been fantastic. But now I've said that,
I know. Knock on friggin' everything.
It's really
knock on cardboard. Yeah, it's amazing these switches they make. How many times you can kick them? It's like, and they don't. Okay, we're gonna definitely have failures. Yeah, tomorrow.
No, because we're both gentle. I've worked with people and they're like, and it's like, well, no wonder why it breaks.
Yeah, I'm pretty careful with it. I mean, it's for sure. But anyways, we gotta go because we gotta get out of here. They're gonna yell at us. But this has been fantastic. Listen, everybody, next week I will be. Let me look at the calendar really quick here. Today's the 23rd. Oh, it's the 2nd. What are we doing on the 2nd?
We're either in Utrecht or in Luxembourg.
Okay, so I'll be doing one more of these somehow next week, and then I'll be back in LA. So that's the deal. So one more on tour, and could be an odd time. Might be this time if it's post gig. Otherwise,
it'll be after the Utrecht gig.
After the Utrecht gig.
Well.
See you then. Okay, everybody, have a great week. Thanks for tuning in at the odd time. Glad we got at least almost an hour in here, and I'm sorry I didn't get to more questions and stuff, but you're all fantastic. Love you all. Be nice to one another. Have a great week. Thanks, James.